France is teetering on the brink of a fresh and potentially devastating political crisis, sparked by a high-stakes gamble from its prime minister. But here's where it gets controversial. This move could force the country into its second snap election in just over a year, a scenario that many fear would only deepen the nation's instability. A senior government official raised this alarming possibility on Tuesday. This comes as opposition parties from across the spectrum united in their pledge to vote against Prime Minister Francois Bayrou and his minority administration, a move that sent French financial markets into a sharp decline. To understand the gravity, think of a government like a company board. Without a majority, it can't pass its crucial plans, leading to paralysis and investor panic. Bayrou jolted the political world awake from its summer break with a surprise announcement on Monday. He will seek a formal vote of confidence on September 8th for his contentious plan to slash the country's debt. The reaction from his opponents was immediate and fierce. In a sentiment echoed by many, lead socialist politician Boris Vallaud declared on social media platform X, "We need a different prime minister, and above all, a different policy." And this is the part most people miss. While Finance Minister Eric Lombard expressed a slim hope for a last-minute compromise with the opposition, leaders from the far-right National Rally to the hard-left France Unbowed Party swiftly dismissed the idea, signaling a political deadlock. Jean-Luc Mélenchon of France Unbowed took the criticism a dramatic step further, directly calling for President Emmanuel Macron to resign. Emmanuel Macron must go. He is responsible for the crisis, Mélenchon stated on X. This situation is eerily reminiscent of President Macron's own gamble in June of last year, when he called a snap election, promising it would bring clarity. The exact same word Bayrou used on Monday. The controversial and undeniable outcome. The 2024 election produced a parliament more fractured and divided than ever, achieving the opposite of clarity. The financial consequences of this political turmoil were immediately felt. France's premier stock index, the CAC 40, fell nearly 2% in Tuesday morning trading after a 1.6% drop the previous evening. Furthermore, the yield on France's 10-year government bonds, a key measure of the cost of borrowing for the country and a gauge of investor confidence, rose to its highest point since March. For those new to finance, a simple way to think about it is when bond yields go up, it means the price of those bonds falls, indicating that investors see greater risk and are demanding a higher return to lend money to France. In a sobering television interview, Justice Minister Gerald Darmanin admitted that while the government is scrambling to find a solution, he could not rule out the chance of another costly dissolution of Parliament, a process where it is shut down and new elections are called. While President Macron holds the sole authority to trigger such an event, he has remained silent on Bayrou's high-risk strategy. Despite reports from the Prime Minister's own team claiming Macron had approved the plan, when questioned about warnings from other politicians that the International Monetary Fund, IMF, might need to intervene if France fails to stabilize its finances, Finance Minister Lombard gave a grimly honest assessment. "This is a risk that is in front of us," he conceded. "It is a risk that we would like to avoid, and one which we should avoid. But I cannot tell you that this risk does not exist." Now let's be absolutely clear and controversial for a moment. The IMF typically only steps in to bail out nations that are completely locked out of global financial markets due to catastrophic budget failures. And its help always comes with strings attached, demanding severe austerity measures and reforms. France is nowhere near that dire predicament today. But the mere fact that a minister of a major economic power is openly acknowledging this theoretical risk is a stunning indicator of how serious the situation has become. So what do you think? Is the Prime Minister's confidence vote a bold move for stability or a reckless gamble that could break the government? Is the comparison to an IMF intervention a responsible warning or irresponsible fear-mongering? We're facing a complex debate with huge implications. Share your perspective in the comments below.